hope you're enjoying the FA show as much as we've been enjoying bringing it to you. We've spoken about the story-making headlines in Kenya, in Dar es Salaam, the Chan tournament, and my African diamonds. But this is the part of the show where we give you the answer to that trivia question I asked you earlier. And just to refresh your memory, the question is, how many African countries will qualify for the 2025 FIFA Under-17 Women's World Cup to be hosted in Morocco in October? Here to give us the answer to that question is African royalty. Well, a friend that has become a sister beyond the cameras and the lights is Jessica Rihanna Nkomo.
These names just keep changing, Adelana. I don't know, this week I'm Chidima, next week I'm Rihanna, but how are you?
Yes, you're shining like a diamond, and oh, you blinded me with all the jewelry you're wearing right now.
I'll take it. So to answer the question, it will be 4 teams that will qualify who will be joining Morocco to make it 5 teams that will be representing Africa at the Under-17 FIFA World Cup.
All right, this is the 10th edition of the qualifiers. Jessica, let's talk about what Africa's done in this Under-17 World Cup so far.
Yeah.
What has impressed you about the African teams over the years?
I think for me, it will be the gradual investment in development, the grassroots of football, because this is when we get to see these stars shine. And, you know, this is where they get the experience for them to eventually, you know, become the big stars of today. I mean, these tournaments have given birth to, let's mention Zambia, you know, Chanda was there, Barbara Banda that we always speak about. She also comes from these tournaments like that. Jermaine Siopasenwe from Banyana, your Amokhela Mutau, who we also spoke about, who just recently moved to Mexico. I think it's very important that this phase of football is really invested in, because these are the girls that are going to be representing us in bigger stages like the FIFA World Cup. And I think we need to, as a collective, you know, support and actually profile these players and look at the results that they've come from. I mean, CAF has already given us the Under-15 Schools CAF tournament that took place with your Katlego Malebanas, who plays for Mamelodi Sundowns. And these are some of the players that are part of the Under-17s that are representing us. So I think from a global stage, we are really doing well in the development space, but I want to see more consistency.
That's right. Jessica, I was going to point out that Ghana and Nigeria have only come third in this tournament. And what do we have to do to make sure that the silver and the gold belong to Africa?
Like I said, I think just keeping the consistency, and it's very interesting. When I speak about consistency, look at Ghana. Ghana comes second to Nigeria in terms of most appearances in Africa, and they're not part of these qualifiers. So it speaks volumes about the consistency. I think there's somewhere where we drop the ball, especially maybe from, you know, the supporter side and the federation side and all of those kind of things. So it is very important for us to maintain the support and to always go get the talent out there. If I make an example, when you're looking at a South African region, there's so much talent within the rural areas and the township areas, which I feel like if there was investment in going to scout those young talented girls and give them opportunity in bigger spaces, we'll probably have, you know, more and stronger contenders, but we don't have that. And you can imagine if this is a challenge in a South African region, how does the challenge look like in the eastern regions, you know, of your Tanzanias, your Ugandans, and the western space, you know? So I think if, as a collective, if we had to investment in those phases, we would definitely be able to contend and break. We wouldn't just stop at the group stages when we're looking at FIFA World Cup. We would also contend up to the semifinals and probably win the FIFA World Cup.
So Jessica, is the first round of the second leg of the qualifiers, and I know there's so many exciting games to look forward to. Do you think anyone's going to get beaten 22-0 in this one?
I hope not, but I don't think so. I think the teams have had enough exercise, enough play time, enough analysis on opponents. Looking at the score results from the past matches to understand and know that, you know, nobody wants to walk away with that kind of scoreline. But I think the most anticipated match will definitely be the one that's taking place today at Lucas Muribe between Nigeria and Bantwana. I think Bantwana comes on from that big win against Gabon, the scoreline that you always talk about. But they're facing Nigeria, who we've already spoken about. They've had most appearances in the Under-17 FIFA World Cup. And they have been a team that has been consistent in terms of performing from a development all the way to a senior level. But Coach Khumalo spoke about, you know, the army that she has selected which is very strong, to go up against this opponent that the Bantwana will be facing. So I think that match for me is going to be one that stands out. And definitely Ghana and Tanzania. We saw Tanzania is doing quite well with some players coming from Simba, coming from JKT Queens who've done so well in CAF. And I think them going up against Zambia, which is a very strong team, is going to be an interesting one. But I'm wishing all the teams all the best. I think this is when we get to see our little stars actually shining.
Okay. Next week, we're going to be bringing you the results of all these qualifiers. I'm sure you want to know what happens next. You just have to watch Antidiski again next week. My final thoughts on today's show is dedicated to all the African nations still dreaming of participating in the World Cup next year. Remember, stay motivated and grab every opportunity that lies ahead. And to our treasured viewers, remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel for more shows. More good news for all of you. FA Show returns back to your screens better, more interesting. Next week, same time, same place. You don't want to miss next week's show. Till next time, Ninitanda Nonke. Kakulu.